Hey everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My guest tonight has got a brand new song that was premiered by Center Stage Magazine, and he is a Texas Country Music Association award-winning singer and songwriter. The single's called I Miss Country Music, and it's from his upcoming album. We're going to talk about all that and play this song for you tonight. It's a pleasure to welcome Trey Calloway to My Kind of Country. Trey, how are you tonight?
Thank you, Scott. I'm awesome, buddy. Hope you are as well.
I'm doing great, man. It's great to have you on the show, and I love this new song. Tell me a little bit about I Miss Country Music.
Well, man, I Miss Country Music is all in the title, brother. I wrote this song with my good friend Dalton Elliott, and we were sitting at my house trying to write a tune one day, and he said, I just feel like Nashville doesn't get me sometimes. I miss country music. And I was like, man, that's it. Light bulb went off in my head. And so it's just a little tip of the hat to all my heroes, Waylon and Merle and Hank Sr. and all that good stuff, man.
Amen.
It's fun one to play live as well.
It's a great song, that's for sure. And you've got a new album coming out September the 27th, and you've released some singles from that already. Tell me a little more about this upcoming project.
The album is called Wanted Man. We've been working on it kind of throughout this past year and a little bit of last year. We've been releasing singles about every month and a half and playing them out live. It's been a lot of fun, man. The Wanted Man album was recorded at Grady Saxman Studios in Nashville, Tennessee, and I wrote or co-wrote all the songs on that album, and I'm really proud of it, man. It's my first album that's been out since I've been living in Nashville, and people are really responding well to it.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. Folks, you can go to TreyCallowayMusic.com. That is Trey's website, and stream his music and order the new album that's coming out September 27th, and, of course, all the great places that we stream our music as well. And, Trey, give me a little bit of your background. How did you get into the wonderful world of country music? And just give me your brief history here.
That's a great question, buddy. So I started off in gospel music. My father was a Pentecostal evangelist when I was growing up, and I would go to all of his revivals that he would preach. He would travel and preach at these different churches, and I would sing before he would do his sermon. And so that got me, into the music and got me the music bug about the age of about 6 years old. And I started kind of leaning towards country. I had heard a couple of stuff. My mom and dad bought me a country music greatest hits. I had George Jones and Loretta Lynn and Waylon Jennings and all the country greats, Willie Nelson. And so I got into that, and then I started listening to the Garth Brookses and the George Straits and the Alan Jacksons. And, man, I knew pretty early on, as soon as about 13 or 14, man, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be a honky-tonk man. So here we are some years later, and I'm still going strong.
Well, that's great. How did you get into the professional part of it?
So I started playing shows for money, quote-unquote, professionally when I was probably about 16. I was in school at the time, in high school at the time, and getting up real early in the morning to go to school, and then on Friday nights I'd go to some little bar. There was a bar in particular that I remember called Smoking Gun. It was this little biker bar in this little hotel in my hometown, and it was a rough joint, man. I really had no business being in there, to be honest with you. But it was a fun place. I made a lot of good memories in that place playing and kind of honed my craft. And then I moved to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and played in that music scene. Captain Arkeys and Ducks. There's a lot of great venues down there, and we kind of honed our craft, down there. That was the first real band that was mine, and we were doing original music. Was when I moved to Myrtle Beach.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great. And you've opened some shows for some pretty big names, too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tracy Lawrence and Joe Diffie is probably the one that made the most of an impact on me. Joe Diffie is such an underrated country artist, I think, in the grand scheme of when people think 90s country. Joe Diffie does not get the credit that he deserves. Some of the best songs of that era were Joe Diffie songs. And so we got to open up for him. It was later on in his career. And it was this little club in Darlington, South Carolina, and I need to look up the name. I can't remember the name of this club, but it was really a famous little bar, and they had reopened it, and it was in Darlington. And we opened up, and we had a good show. And then Joe Diffie came out and showed me up. Man, he taught me how it was done.
He was fantastic.
Yes,
There's no doubt about that. Well, I'm glad to hear that, man.
yes,
That's great. So when did you move to Nashville?
I have been living in Nashville for about 2.5 years now, and loving every minute of it. I moved here. I remember the first day I moved. I had not really, because I'm from North Carolina originally. We don't get a whole lot of snow in North Carolina. And I came out my front door. I was going to go. I moved right across from Centennial Park, right in downtown Nashville, and I was going to go around and explore. My new home. Moved to Nashville. Want to go out and look at it. And I opened the door, and there was 8 inches of snow on the ground. First time I'd ever seen that much snow, in person. And so, Nashville's great. I've made some great friends out here, and it's a great town, man. I'm not really built for big cities, but Nashville I'll make an exception for.
Well, there's some great areas there, and there is a lot of great people there, and it's good and bad, just like every other big city. But I've always had a great time there, and I've always loved the people there, and it just seems to be a great place to be.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, absolutely. I play a few nights a week downtown, and then 2 nights a week at a really cool bar called the Local Nashville, owned by a fellow named Jeff Reed, and he was really the first fellow that believed in me big time when I moved to Nashville, and been really supportive. And he gave me the headlining spot on Friday night at the Local. We're playing there tonight, and it's been a really good thing. He's a good friend to musicians.
Well, that's fabulous, and you've been recognized by the Texas CMA as a singer-songwriter too.
Yes, sir. We first year we were in it, actually, we were fortunate enough to win Songwriter of the Year for a song called "One Tough Job" that I wrote about my dad. My dad was a Pentecostal preacher, and that was he kind of had 2 jobs, so to speak. He was an evangelist, but he was also an electrician. So we could make ends meet. My dad had to have 2 jobs, and I wrote a song called "One Tough Job," and he's the hardest working man I've ever known. So we put that song in there, and it won. So I got to go down to Texas and for the first time actually, and play at Billy Bob's on the big Billy Bob stage. And hopefully the next time I go in there will be my own show. Would be a lot of fun. Billy Bob's was great, man. We went backstage and I got to sign the wall. And
oh, nice.
It was fun, man.
That's a cool place, man. I couldn't believe how big it is. There's like 6 different bars inside that thing and a rodeo arena, and I mean, it's crazy. I had no idea it was that big.
It's insane. Yes, sir. The stockyards in general are just a really cool experience, man. It's like Vegas. It's like Nashville a lot. You see a few more cowboy hats there than you see in Nashville. But the cowboy hat's making a comeback in Nashville too, so I'm glad to see that.
That's a good thing, yes. And you've had a music video featured on CMT, and you've had some great action on Spotify. Tell me a little bit about your music video.
So I a couple years ago made friends with a girl who's kind of a personality, a country music personality or a social media personality. She's a great friend of mine. A girl named Alyssa Capps, and she's been in most of my music videos now. Just kind of a team. We're kind of a good team when it comes to making the videos. She always plays the girl in whatever video we do, and man, she's got a lot of fans, and a lot of people love her. And so we put her in all the music videos, and we just have fun. Me and my fiance and her boyfriend, we just have a good time making music videos. And actually, the one that got on CMT was Miss Gone by Morning, which she as soon as she heard it, she was like, "That's me. I'm Miss Gone by Morning." So put me in the video, and that video actually really is my favorite music video. We've done quite a few of them now, but that goes down as my favorite one, man. The director of the video is a guy named Logan. And
well, that's great. Well, you've got your new album coming out September 27th, Wanted Man. TreyCallawayMusic.com is the website. And, Trey, what have you got planned for this fall, backing up, working on this new album and getting it out there?
Yes, sir. So on top of this album that we're finishing up, we've been singling it out, and we're releasing it on September 27th, but I'm actually going to do some touring. I'm going to Texas next week to do some shows, and I'll be in Austin and Granbury and New Braunfels, and we're working on the next album now, so I'll probably start cutting that one in September, and we're working on picking out the songs for it right now. So we've got it's hard to narrow down 12 songs out of 100 that you've been sitting on, that you've written, that you're really proud of, and it's difficult. It's a tough choice, man, because they're like your babies. You love them all, but they all can't get recorded. So we're working on that right now, and that'll be coming out. I think the first single off that new album will probably come out in February or March of next year.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to that, man. We never really stop these days.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. And folks, check out Trey's website, TreyCallawayMusic.com, and if you get a chance to go see him, please do that. And be sure to order your new album that's coming out on September 27th. And we're going to play I Miss Country Music for our listeners right now. Trey, I want to thank you so much for taking time to be on the show, and thank you for carrying on traditional country music.
Mr. Scott, I appreciate you, buddy. I'll keep fighting the good fight, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, look forward to it. Trey Calloway, as we continue with My Kind of Country, here is I Miss Country Music.
There'll never be another Whalen, never be another Jones, never be another Haggard singing me back home. It tears me up inside to know those days are dead and gone. Well, we used to country right, now we're country all wrong. What happened to them?